Hello guys, welcome back to another fantasy football video. Just a quick one today. I just want to run through, as fantasy football is about to restart again now, game week 1 starts tonight. Just want to run through all the best 4.5 and 4 million players. There aren't many 4 million players, so it's mainly 4.5s, but these are just all the cheap players that are actually worth having. My team is on screen, but I'm not really bothered about who's in my team, but obviously I will be using them. So we're going to start with the keepers. Honestly, there's 4 keepers. You've got Lossell as well from Huddersfield. Patricio from Wolves is only 4.5 million as well. Maybe Patricio. I would recommend Foster, Fabianski, Begovic, and maybe right now. I think Begovic, Fabianski, Foster would be my recommendations. Other plausible ones at 4.5 in there are Ryan, Lossell, and Patricio. Patricio remains to be seen though for me if he's actually going to be worth having or not. Because Wolves are unpredictable. I would recommend overall staying away from promoted teams, especially if it's someone who's actually in your team, maybe on your bench to bring in. But for me now, you see I've got Bolly there, and I suppose that's a bit contradictory of what I've just said, because I've got a defender from Wolves, but I don't know. You know what, Patricio's in there with the other main 3. Patricio's a decent deal. Looking at defenders then, we're going to actually go down to 4 million, because I feel like there's plenty of 4.5 millions that are obvious. In here, we have actually got some. Now, the Brighton defenders, as of yesterday, were alright, but they recently signed Montoya. Literally, on the deadline, they signed Montoya. He's going to be playing right back now instead of Sciletto. So, Sciletto's no longer one. But Peltier apparently plays for Cardiff. But the two big ones are wan-bissaka, especially because he's going to be a starting fullback for Palace this year, almost certainly, unless Roy Hodgson's crazy. Won't put that past him, though. You know what he's like. We saw him managing England. And the other 4 million player is Bednarak. He, as far as I'm aware, Southampton have been playing 3 at the back in pre-season or something like that. Anyway, something to do with Yoshida not being in the team. Bednarak's been every single pre-season game. Yeah, Bednarak's been in that back line. So obviously he didn't get many points last season, as you can see there, and he barely played any minutes. But that is set to change this year. I know he's a young centre back as well, so I know he's probably just about broken into the team now. So yeah, Bednarak would be the recommendation, as if you're not going to pick wan-bissaka, but definitely one of those 2 as a cheap defensive option. I will look at the 4.5 million, but I think there's just too many. There's a lot of Bournemouth defenders. I would recommend maybe one of those. I'd say either Steve Cook or Adam Smith personally. I'm not too sure about the other ones and if they're actually going to play or not. Does Daniels play? I think Daniels might play, actually. Daniels might be a better option than Smith. I'm pretty sure. I haven't got any expert opinion on that one, I can't lie. You see Montoya's actually come in now. He's 4.5 million. I won't put him in straight away, but I would consider having him in maybe in future. Dunk is a good option at 4.5. He'll be playing. I'm pretty sure Akule Manga will play, but I would personally stay away from Cardiff defenders. Some decent Palace defenders in there. Riedeveld, that's interesting. I thought he played like midfield, so if he does start playing midfield, then maybe put him in your team. You probably don't want Ward in there because, well, as I've said about wan-bissaka, will be playing instead of him. Schlupp, if he plays, get him in because he's very attacking. As you can see, this list of 4.5 players is a little bit long, really. There's so many of them. So Cedric's 4.5, he's not bad. Let's see, is there any other obvious ones? Zanka at Huddersfield isn't bad at 4.5. This Lamarchan guy, he's come from Nice. Just because he's cost them a decent amount of money, and I expect he'll play, but that doesn't mean to say get him in your team or whatever. I'm sort of looking at players that will actually play. And you're like Walker Peters. He might play 1 or 2 games, but he won't last. This Kiko Femenia guy, this one's interesting. He played midfield, so he played on the right midfield for Watford last year. 4.5 million, and also he's in defence. It could be a bit of a snip at that price, because if he's playing midfield, he might actually contribute stuff. But I don't know if they're actually going to play. I'm not Watford's a team I'm not really too sure about anything what's going on there, so I can't give you a proper opinion. I think this Balwani guy's been playing pre-season for West Ham. I think he's probably a centre back though, so I probably won't bother. Bolly is in my team. He's just a solid centre back. I wanted to vary up my teams that I'm getting players from a little bit. Must admit, now I look at the list again, I'm surprised I've got Bolly. I thought I might pick one of those others I was talking about earlier. And maybe we'll do that going into next week or a few weeks' time or whatever. Depends on how Wolves defend. So yeah, that's defence covered. Now it's cheap midfielders. Let's just double. Yeah, so 4.5 is the minimum for midfielders. Right. So first one, I've not heard anyone mention, and he's only selected. Oh, he's selected by 1.2 actually. Guendouzi. This guy's playing for Arsenal in pre-season. Not every game, but he played most. The only thing is he is like a defensive midfielder, as far as I know. So, that's why people like Kante are like 5 million. I mean, yes, they're incredible, but they're not in a position where they earn points. As a rule, really, defensive midfielders aren't something you should pick. I remember how I had Matic one year, and he was good. But apart from that, I can't remember any other examples of when that's been great. This Stevens guy, he's potentially a good pick. You can see he played plenty of minutes last year. I mean, I'm not saying he's great, but 87 points isn't bad, I suppose. Got 3 assists, but yeah, clean sheets are his main source of points, I suppose. But I don't know about that, One thing he is, though, he's a cheap midfielder who's going to play pretty much every week, so that's why I think he's pretty popular with people. Cardiff, again, I'm pretty sure a couple of them will play, but I don't know. I just can't tell you. I think this Camaraz guy just signed last night on deadline day, so he'll probably play eventually. Hudson-Odoi. This lad, now I'm not saying long term will he keep playing, but for now I think he's going to start. For game week 1, I bet you this guy features, because Willian and Hazard are doubts for week 1, so they need wingers. They look good in pre-season, so he will play. Will he be able to replace Hazard and Willian, or either of them? Probably not, let's be honest. But yeah, for now, if you're looking to use your wild card in like game week 3 or 4, put Hudson-Odoi in, he'd be cheap. Probably play first 2 weeks. I was going to pick him at one point. Is there any more? Schneidlin, you don't want due to his position. This Sambo Anguissa guy, interestingly, I think he costs like 30 million, 4.5 million is actually not bad. I might have to do some research into that guy, though, see if he's actually that attacking, because I'm not sure if he is. So, for now, stay away. I'm pretty sure he might be like holding centre mid or something, so probably not. Yeah, 4.5. See, they're all like, your Amartys, your Haydens, your Oriel Romeus. They probably might get some time, but they're not going to get points. Here's one I wanted to speak about. Dendoncker. Again, I think he's defensive, really. Or centre. He plays centre-back or defensive midfielder. Masuaku is the one I wanted to talk about. This guy was good last year, I thought. Actually, his points there, his assists and goals and stuff don't really look good, but when you watch him play, it looks positive. But it's a shame that he's a midfielder this season. That's the big shame, because I think he's actually registered as a defender. Unlike on FIFA, the game, he's a defender. He does basically play like left wing back or left midfield, so I can understand why they've put him as midfielder. But yeah, he's probably a waste now, to be honest. But I mean, 4.5 million is very cheap, so that's another thing. If you do need a really cheap midfielder, and you think you want someone who's going to play down that left side, then Masuaku might not be a bad shout. But it's a doubt, really. I'm happy with my guy Højbjerg here. I think he's going to play, and he's a little bit more. There's a little bit more potential for creative stuff with him than there is with the others. Mind you, in like half a season, didn't get any goals or assists last year, so maybe I have to reconsider him. But I've got to have someone in there who's a bit different to everyone else, so I thought that's why I'll go for Højbjerg. And I can't be bothered to put Hudson-Odoi in and change him personally, because I've got a feeling I'm going to have to make transfers elsewhere if people like Lucas and Bernardo Silva don't end up not playing eventually. Mendy is also another one I'm worried about transfers, so that's why Højbjerg, I know he's going to stay in that Southampton team, so he's in there for me. Forwards, let's have a look at the cheap forwards. 4.5, well, there's no one there I can really recommend to you. Medine might get some minutes. Kamara, doesn't he play? I think this guy plays. Yeah, 11% selected by it. Mind you, that might just be for his cheapness. I think Kamara's got the best chance playing out of them, but that's a stupid to class those as the only cheap, when there's only 4 of them, let's be honest, 5 million is the cheap forwards, not 4.5. And even then there's not many, is there? Will any of these boys play? Zahor, I think he plays a bit. Sorloth looks good to me. I think he looks like a decent player. But again, it's the minutes. Solanke, don't even waste your time. Hoslu, Hoslu's getting some minutes there. Scored a few goals. They have got Perez is their main one, isn't he? I think he's 6.5 million this year. Yeah, maybe I would recommend that of these lot. He's probably Hoslu, If he's just going to be a forward that never actually plays. Because you're looking at this price, if you're getting a forward at this price, you're probably not going to be starting him, let's be honest. So, there's a bench guy. Yeah, chuck him in. Bonatini, 5 million. This is probably something to do with the fact they've got Raul Jimenez now, but I think Bonatini will see the pitch. Yeah, that's a little bit underwhelming. There's no one there who might even look like they're going to get a decent amount of time on the pitch. Let's move to 5.5 million then, just to be absolutely certain. Lacadia, no, he didn't get enough minutes for me. That's interesting, because I thought he was quite a big signing for them when he got him. Ings at Southampton might play. Now, that's obviously, we're looking at his past there, but he was at Liverpool, so you can't really take that too seriously. I think that 2014-15 is when he was at Burnley, but I still think that's too long ago to go off. If he's playing, I don't think he'll play this week, but if he's eventually playing, he's a good cheap striker. Raul Jimenez, equally. Get this guy in your team as well. He might be in there for game week 1, to be honest, for some people. I think that might not be a bad shout, Jimenez. If you want a cheap striker, do it. If Sahara and Arnautovic aren't, neither of them are performing, I might end up picking someone like this, because so as far as I'm concerned, Firmino and Aguero will do the job for me. Or I could swap Zaha for Jimenez and swap Firmino for Aubameyang and have Aubameyang and Aguero and just have Jimenez on the bench. As I'd say that looking at my team now, I'm almost kind of tempted to do it, but I just think those 3 I've got are a bit more elite. Vieto at Fulham, they have got Mitrovic, which is worrying. But Vieto should be playing eventually. I still think he might end up playing out wide or something. I don't know, I wouldn't trust him. Everton is interesting as well. Tosson is going to play, let's be honest, though. But I think one of these 3 might end up getting some minutes. Niasse did okay, I thought, last year. Look at that, 8 goals he scored. That's impressive for a guy like who was basically considered a joke not too long ago. Calvert-Lewin, I wouldn't personally pick. He has got good stats there, to be fair, and this Sandro guy, actually. I don't even know why I mentioned Sandro as one of those 3. He's not as good as the other 2, really. So, yeah, I mean, forwards are a bit weak in terms of really cheap options, but there is some, I think Jimenez and Ings there, for me, are 2 good options. They're probably 2 best. The 2 cheap ones who are actually going to play. Because as far as I'm concerned, looking down the 5 millions and 4.5s, there's no one there. So I did sort of break the terms of the video. I did say, well, 4.5 or 5 million players. In fact, I think I said 4 or 4.5 million. So I've gone a million over what I said I would do. But I suppose I was thinking of more keepers and defenders when I said that. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. There's all the good cheap picks that I've sort of evaluated over the length of this video. I've got some in my team there, you can see them. We've got Højbjerg, we've got Wan-Bissaka, we've got Bolly, we've got Foster, we've got Fabianski. Let me know who your cheap picks are, your cheap picks are in the comments below. And yeah, good luck with game week 1. Hope you don't do too well, because I'm hoping to be number 1 in the world, of course. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment below. Sorry about my poor outro. Leave a comment below, leave a like on the video, and yeah, have a good day.